So in today's lecture, we are going to learn of the Python basics. We are going to cover the topics of decision-making statements and the looping statements. Now, before directly jumping to the statements, that what are those statements, I just wanted to discuss the flow, that how actually the flow are, and what are the decision-making statements and the looping statements. Firstly, I would like to cover with the decision-making statement. And in the decision-making statement, I have a number, I have the condition. Like you can say, mm, decision making study. Now you can say I have my if and if else, and you can say if and elif, say else, and say nested if. Let first I talk about if condition. Okay, let's say I'm checking. I know that you aware about the if condition. You have work on if condition, but I just going through this warm up. You can say that I'm checking that whether a is less than 10 or 3. If I make a program a equal to 3, let's say if a is less than 10, then print a is less than 10. This is a small program which are we doing. It's just for, can say, warm up. Okay. Now condition. If I go into my condition, now the condition is a less than 10. Now it has two two-way structure. Either it is false, okay? Either it is true. Okay. Now either it is, say, you can say true, or either it is false. There is no other condition regarding this. If it is false, then my code will be terminated. Or it is true, then it will perform some action. Okay. Now, in the if-else condition, can say in the if-else condition, if-else condition. Now, if it is, you can say, if it is true, then it will going for some action, or either it is false, then also it will go for some another action. Okay. Now, if as condition, the condition remains the same, but it's kind of true or false situation. Okay. If I say that it is true and this side is false, but here in this condition, false will uh, my code will be terminated. So if condition and if else condition works in this way. I come to if elif. nested if condition in some time. Before that, let's just discuss these two and see the syntax of both. Okay, I know you are familiar with the syntax of if and elif. Have you? Hello.
Yeah,
Are you familiar with the syntax of if and
yeah,
if?
I'm familiar.
Okay, so now uh, if I say mm, if you say b equal to 50, now if b is less than 10, then you can say print b is less. Okay, okay. Now you know that if I say else print b is greater. Okay, now uh, you know that it will give that b is less than 10. B, okay. Now
It's greater than.
uh, if b is less than 10, then what will it print?
It print and B is less if B is less than.
Yeah, b is less. Okay. Now you know another. This is a simple if and else. Now if I say mm, suppose c equal to 30, and I will say if c equal to 10, then say print c is number 10. L if c equal to 30, then say print c is 30, and then we say else print c is undefined. Now you can see here what I want to check in this example, whether b is equal to 0. Sorry, that is my if else condition works. Okay, I'm checking here why it is giving error. Okay, so mm, here I'm checking that I'm giving the value c is 30, and I'm checking if c equal 10, then print c is 10. If else if c is equal 30, then print c is 30, else print c is undefined. So this way you can use if and elif condition. Okay, now you can apply as many elif as you want. Now here I can write Alif C equal to 40, then print C is 40. So you can apply as many Alif condition as you want. Okay. So now there is the condition comes which is known as nested if. You know about nested if?
Yeah. If under if. Right.
Okay. Can you give me one example?
For example, like if we are sorting a numbers, like first in first if condition, we uh, check that it's odd or even, and then after that in this
The simple example you can give me here. Like I'm given A, B, C. Suppose I can declare D equal to, you can say 45. Now give me the conditions of nested if.
first for nested if, in first if we check this number is odd or even,
If
that
yeah,
D is
what
module is
D
2.
D is smaller than 2.
Model is for odd or even.
You are going for a just a difficult example. I'm just going for simplest example. Just if
Yeah,
say D is less than equal to 0, you can say D is, suppose this, D
yeah,
is
it is
not
not
equal
equal
to
to 0.
0. This will go inside the if condition. Okay. Then again, if D is less than equal to 50.
Equal to 50.
Okay. Then again, it go in the this condition. Again, I can check if D is greater than 40. Okay. So I can like say print D D is smaller than 50 but greater than
50.
40. So this is nested if, that if condition it's true, but suppose in the first condition, now it will print that D is smaller than 50 but you can say greater than 40. You can see
Yeah, the colon is missed. Line
where
number 18.
okay. Now if I run this, yeah, you see it is printing D is smaller than 50 but greater
Greater
than.
than 40.
Okay, but suppose if I say D is can say greater than 100. So right now it will not print any of the statement, because you know that if the condition, now you see that nothing is printing for D, because in the first condition it just jumps out of the statement. Okay, that only nested if conditions true for only true condition. If the condition is true, then it will move forward, otherwise it will terminate your code. Okay, now here I can write it as, you can say, suppose D equal to 55. Suppose now I will say D equal to 55, here, and d is less than 50. Now d is greater than 40. It is true. Now suppose if don't I don't have this statement, and I will say print d, d is less than 50. Here I can go for one more condition like else. Sorry, print d is greater than 50. Now it will print, like if I run my code, now it will print
Greater than
that
50.
d is greater than 50. So in nested if I can use else statement as well. Okay. Now if I say if d,
Even we can if sorry, even we can use else if also in that, right?
yeah, you can use L. Even I can use, suppose if I say doing it to 0, and here I can use else print a is uh, sorry, d is 0. Okay. Now if I run this, now you see it prints d is 0. Okay, so I can use if, elif. So you have to very precise and you have to very careful when you are using if and else in Python, because you know that there is no brackets here. Okay, so this is actually how my decision making condition goes on, and they are totally dependent upon the results that are coming of the conditions. Fine, either I get true, either I will get false. If the condition is matching, then true comes. If it does not match, then it I will get the fail false. Fine. This is decision making statement. Now moving further to the looping statements. Okay, so can go for Python file and name it as looping study. Okay, now suppose I have my var equal to 0, and I will say while var can say less than equal to 10, var can say mm, you know what is while loop, you know what is for loop. I'm assuming that.
Yeah.
Okay, first,
Um,
first I will do for while loop. In while loop always run when the condition is true. When this condition is true, it will always run. It will not run for the false condition. It will only run for the true condition. In while loop, I will be checking that every time condition is true, then it will keep on going. Otherwise, it quit the while loop, means that while loop will run for the true condition by default. Okay. This, now, what will I do? I will say var equal to, say var equal to var plus 1. Okay. Now I will say print var. Okay. Now when I run this, now it will give me 1, 2, 3. So can you tell me why it is printing 11?
Because it will first print the statement and then increment the value of that variable.
You are saying, I think so. First,
First,
it
it
will,
assign value to var, means
yeah,
when the value of var is 10, and after
okay.
that it will come here and var equal to var plus 1, matlab 10 plus 1 11, and let it print 11s.
Okay, suppose I don't want 11 here. So what can I do?
You have only removed that equal to, which is less than or equal to 10. So just
Suppose I
remove
I
that.
want this only, but I want to be 11 not here. You
So
right.
yeah,
Now, if I say,
or else, or
if I
else
run
first
the,
print and then increment. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah, that's the true point. That first print and then increment, because in my previous class I'm unable to can say give any example. If somebody is there, I will never say his or her name, but she is very much confused in this, that why 11 is coming. Okay, now it is true that when I remove equal to, then 11 will not be there. Okay, so you said true that we have to move it like this and this. Okay, now you say that it now 11 will not come.
Yes.
Yes, 11 will not come. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you are using your decision, that where I have to put which decision. Now, suppose if I say so, I will go with this. Now, there is an one word. Suppose if I say, now you can say that this is an initialization. Yeah, initialization. This is an condition, and this is an incrementation.
Increment.
So these three condition has to be there for in the while loop. Okay. Now, same way I have my for loop. Suppose I will say for and say sorry I in range can say 10 to 20, and then print I. Okay. Now here, which one is the better? For loop is better or while loop is better in your opinion?
I think for loop.
Why?
It's easier for writing. Means the line of code is okay. But if you
Yeah,
want to adjust your increment statements
yeah.
or the initializations, then while loop will good. But if you want to print some list or just play with the numbers, then for loop is better.
Okay. Suppose if I can say do it like this, it will give me error or not? Suppose I forgot to write this statement.
No, it will not give you error. It's on infinity.
Yeah,
It's
that's why
infinite loop.
in the situation for loop is better. Okay. Sometimes what happens, this is my simple 4 lines of code. Sometimes what happens, my code is so lengthy that it will go from 10 to 20 lines, 30 lines, 40 lines deep. Then I don't know where I have increment the while loop. So in that condition, for loop is better because I am giving the range. Now if I print I, 20 will print or not?
No, 20 will not print. It just print from 10 to 19. That is
Okay.
the range -1.
Okay, suppose if I want to stop it, right now, suppose now it prints for, uh, first I will just now it start for 10 and prints towards 19. Now suppose if I want it to stop it at you can say 15. So what can I do?
Stop at 15. Then we can add one decision making statement, that is if under for if
Where
add
can I put
after for.
after 4 here in line number 8?
Yeah,
Okay,
that if
yeah,
I is less than or equal to 15,
less than equal to 15. Okay,
print I.
print I. I want to print it from 10 till 15.
Yeah,
Okay, this will serve the purpose.
yes, it will print. Just it's under if scope. Print is under if.
Okay, now first of all, divide here. Okay, now, okay, you are absolutely right that you have given the condition that suppose if I want to print it reversely, what can I do? What changes I
We
can do?
can add -1 in the range at last as a third argument.
Uh, where?
In
Suppose
range,
yes, now if I print, it will print 10 to 19. Okay. Now say if I print, it will print 10 to 19, which is okay. I want to print it from 19 to 10.
I think we can add in range as a third argument -1. Yes,
Where?
it. In the range that 10, 20,
Yeah.
comma -1.
Yeah, you want to
I'm just confused. Huh, that -1. I'm just confused that 10 and 20 are reversed or not. But I know that the -1 is used to reverse the range.
okay. So this is your exercise. You have to show me.
Okay.
Okay. This is your exercise. Okay. Now there is a suppose here or here where I'm printing, suppose here. Now it will print and say, yeah, it will print from 0 to 11. Okay,
Yeah.
now when I run this, yeah, suppose I want to print and say 1, 2, 3, 4, then I have to, I don't want to print 5, then I want to print 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
We want to skip 5, right?
Yeah,
Then we can add one if statement after var +1.
okay,
If var equal to 5,
where equal to 5.
In if statement, we can if we can also leave it blank, or we can, I think, add pass or continue.
Yes, we can add continue. Okay. So you are familiar with Python basics.
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
That is for your test. That's why I'm making it for me to clear that how can I pick you up. So you are familiar with basics of the Python.
Yeah,
Okay. So now it will not print. Can say here if I say here where in this if I want you that I want this that uh, can say yeah here if I want in that 15 after 15 it should not print. So like this continue you can have one more word if after 15 I don't want to print. So what can I do?
we can break it. If it's
Yes,
greater than 15, then we can break that loop.
yes, the break. I don't go over the break. Okay, now difference between this is a very good interview question. It will it has asked many times in the Python basics that what is the difference between continue and break. So tell me what is the difference between continue and break.
If we if we put continue in your code, in our code, then
Hmm?
it will only skip the specific condition,
Okay,
or that specific value for that condition, and
okay,
again increment and start the loop again. But if we put the break statement, then it breaks whole the loop. It's exit from our loop directly.
yes,
It
that
doesn't increment the another value.
yes. It will exit the loop if the condition matches, then it will exit the loop at that instant. It will not go for the loop again. But
Okay,
in
right.
continue, it will pass the particular statement again, go in the loop for the next statement. Okay, I think you remember this, but uh, I want to know that what type of knowledge have you so that I can pick you up. So now can say you have know the keyword break, you have know the word continue. Okay, now you you know that continue will skip the specific condition and break will break the whole code. Okay, now if I say that mm, break and continue. Now there is one more keyword. You can say pass keyword.
Yeah,
You know the usage of pass.
that we can leave any operation. Means, if we can write any function or loop, but we doesn't want to perform any operations under that, so we can just simply write the keyword pass, and it doesn't
Yes,
throw any error,
yeah,
right?
it will. So in example, I say suppose I have a particular class now. In this class, I want to create some functions name. I don't, and in some functions, I don't want to add any execute statements nor any print statement. Nothing I want. Now, if I suppose here, if I say and if I run this, you can say no, it will give me the error. Okay, for this open, I can simply put the statement pass and it will run. It will pass this function. Okay. Now this is where I don't want to execute any statement, no any print, nothing to be executed. Okay. So I just want to keep them as place in my class. Python, as such, Python will not allow me to just have a blank function or a loop. Here you can see that it will not allow me. It will give an error. Okay. Then the pass keyword will solve this problem. Okay. Now
Yeah.
moving forward, we are going to start with the topic which is local and global variable and the datetime function. Okay. Now first, I will take local and global variable, and to understand it, let me just take a small example. Uh, suppose mm, there you can say paint control and yeah, don't say. Okay, whichever person you can say there is a factory. Okay, there is one room, room one, and this is room two. And say like this is a factory. Okay, and there are can say mm, can say, yeah, this is room one and this is room two. Say room one and this is room two. Okay, now suppose there are some person which are working in the factory naming as person X, person Y, and person Z. Okay, whichever person working in room number one and can work only in room number one. It cannot work in room number two. Similarly, for the persons which are working, suppose person A, then person B, and similarly person C and person D. Now the person A and B are working for room number one, working in room number one, and similarly for room two, their person C and D working. Means the scope of person which are working under room one is room one only. Similarly for room two, C and D is for room two only. C and D cannot work in room one and A and B cannot work in room two. But the person XYZ can work in room one as well as room two. That is the scope of these persons is included in all the factory. Now same kind of thing is happening in the language as well. Now you see that here person can say will remove and person will remove and there are variables. Okay. Person will remove with variable X, Y, Z, and similarly variable A, variable B, and variable C and variable D. Okay. Now, same way, x and y and z variable has the scope if this whole class. Now, this is class. Okay. And these are, can say, these are now functions. Now, scope of this function, the variable, the scope of this variable is inside this function only. A and B variable cannot access function second. Similarly, C and D cannot access function 1. Similarly, function 1 cannot access C and D variables, and same way, function 2 cannot access A and B variables. But function 1 and 2 can access x, y, and z. X, y, and z can be in any one of the space. Okay? As x, y, z are global variables and a, b, c, d are the local variables. Okay. I know you have understood the concept of global and local variables, but I have to give an example so that it will be make more clear to you. So you understand what is global variable and what is a local variable.
Yes.
Okay. Now here, if I say now how we define function in our, can say, I will make a new class, a new Python file, and name it as mm,
Function. That's
global local, or maybe global local variable study. Okay. Now, suppose if I declare x equal to 50. Now, how can I declare my function? By using the word def, name it as local function, and say print, and say print mm, val. Okay. Now you see it has given two blank spaces between the variable and my new function. And say print x. So x can be used in this function. Now suppose there is an variable result, and I will say the x into 2. Okay. So now if I run my code, sorry, present result.
yeah, we need to call that function.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, sorry. So now uh, it's like I have to call this function local function. Okay, then I will just run this. Okay, now it is giving me 100. Now you see it is looking for. Now suppose if I, or you can say, uh, no, here you can say a equal to 40 and result a equal to 3. Okay, now if I run my function again, now it is giving 14 to 3 120, which is correct. Now suppose if I want to assess result, if I want to assess result outside the function, so I can write as print result. So then it will give me an error
Yeah. It-
as
Variable is undefined, right?
yeah, as result is an local variable which is defined inside this function. The scope of the result is inside this function only. Okay, so result is an
Local variable.
local variable. Okay, so I cannot use result outside the function. Now moving further, we have another topic that is date type function. So I will again make a new file and say Python file and data date time study. Okay. Whenever I giving the name of file, I always put study or something like. Never give the name as date time as it will give problem to you. Okay, it will give problem if I can say if I give the name as date time dot py, then it will give me an error. Okay, so now datetime functions are very useful. Now I will say from underscore datetime import datetime. Okay, now you can say current date equal to datetime dot now. Okay, now if I say print current date and print type of current date. Uh, Now if I execute my code, now it's giving the my current date and type it datetime dot datetime. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, in Python we use from keyword. Okay. Now there are two datetime packages, but we use underscore datetime as it has more functionalities. It is different from the normal datetime. Now, whichever function I want to use, you see here that I can get it. Uh, I have also checked the data type. Now, you see that its data type is datetime dot datetime. I don't want this. You see here, I don't want this whole to be printed. That is, I need date only, or you can say time only. So let's say we have, can say formatted
Mm.
date equal to current date dot strf time, and I will say percentage b, and a percentage d, and percentage y. Okay, now I will go for print formatted date. Okay, now if I execute my code, now you see it is giving me September 10, 2024. Suppose if I give it as y, will it run or not?
Um, I think no, because it's case sensitive language. So
Okay, suppose we run it, it is giving me.
it will.
Okay, so you have to know the formats. Okay, that capital Y will give me, can say, it will give me the whole year.
2024.
Okay, but small y can give me
Just 24.
only 24. Suppose I don't know it will work or not. Suppose I will write it like this. See, 24 for small y, then again it adds triple y. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you are using this. Okay, now can say, now you have got the date, then month, then year. Okay, you're getting month, can say getting month before date. Okay, so I can change like t p. Will it work or not?
I think it should work.
Okay, so date and month changes. Okay, I can change to percentage y, then b, then d. Now the kind of format you want to, it's totally up to you which format you want. You can change to any format. You just have to make sure that case sensitivity is fine. Can say, okay, now this strf time function is applicable to date time data type. You cannot pass string to it. Okay, now suppose if I say date um, equal to, you say uh, uh, you can say 20 slash what August, June, July, August 8, then 2024. Now I can use string and say it will give an error. Date, sorry, date equal to date time dot strp time, and give it as date. Then I will say percentage D, then percentage M, then percentage Y. Okay, and I will say print string formatted date. Okay, now if I run this, it will give an error. Line number 10, strp time. I think so. Date one, date one. Hmm. So it is giving me error. Suppose strf. Again, it is giving. I don't know why it is giving me error, but the previous it is running successfully. Date time dot strp time. The date 20 percentage m then percentage. Okay. Now you see
Yeah.
the small thing is giving error.
No, why?
Okay, so you have to very careful in. Now suppose uh, if I want to extract year from this, I can say year equal to string sorry string formatted date dot year. Okay, can say print year, and suppose if I run this, now it prints year. Now if I say I want to day equal to string formatted date dot day, and then I can print day as well. So if I run this, now I can print the date as well. And similarly, again, now I have bring the year, then day. I think so it will go for month as well. I'm not sure. String dot formatted date dot month. Now print month as well. Suppose I run this. Now it prints the months as well. Now I can do one more thing. Str time, and I will say percentage p. Now suppose if I run this, now you see it giving me August. So this way you can play with your date time.
And we can also extract the time, right? Just if we want hour and minutes, then we can
Yeah,
extract
you
what's the current
yeah,
hour and
yeah.
minute.
Yeah, you can extract as that because right now I have changed this simple string into a date. Okay, I have changed this simple string to the date time format. If you want to see like print uh, type here, if you say date and here print type string dot formatted date. Now, if I run this, now here you see first it is string, here it is string, and then I have converted this simple date to datetime dot date here. Okay, so these are very good datetime functions that you can work with. Okay, uh, okay, so you can play it with the formatted date or time, or you can say, suppose if I change this to B, now if I run it, now you see it gives the whole month. Okay, now here when there's current date and time, from there you can utilize this time as well. Utilize, you can pick the time as well. Okay, so this is how you can go with the date time functions. Okay, now that is all for the today. Okay, we will see some more examples in our next class. Okay, just just remember whenever suppose now you see that it is giving me error when I uh, can say uh, place small y. Why you can you know why it is giving me error?
Because it's converting this string and it can't convert directly that it's converting the
Suppose
string to
suppose
string.
you have to change in this you can say in this date so that it will not give an error here. So what can you do?
So we can just remove that 2024 and we can write 24 only and will
Yes,
not gives an error of small y.
yes. In my opinion, it will have to run now. It is running fine. So you have to be very precise what you are passing in your string and what you are passing in your formatted date. Okay? That's why it is giving error in first time when I'm passing small y. So you have to be very careful that what you are passing and what type of thing you want. Like if I just want AUG, then small b is there. Okay. But if I want the full name of my month, I have to
Capital
type
B.
capital B. So these are very small things, but these are very good things for the interview regarding questions because interview can ask you about the basics in which you have read in Python. It can pass you the date that I want this date to be passed in string format. Then, so how will I do it? Whether format is bigger Y or smaller Y. So answer is for full year it is bigger Y, and for small y it is the last two digits. Okay, so this way date type functions work. So we will move to our next topic in our next class. Hope you have find this class also helpful in some way.
Yeah, it's very helpful
Okay.
and good.
Okay. This will brush up your knowledge regarding Python, and I think so you have good knowledge of Python because the questions I have asked you is not answered by someone, answered by anyone in my previous classes. Okay, so you are doing good in Python, so it will be good for me that I can move fast. Okay, so we will meet at the same time at tomorrow. Hope you will join me
Yeah,
7:30 p.m. tomorrow.
yeah, I will be there on Sunday.
Okay,